Gentlemen, are we,
Yep.
sound?
Have Mr. Spitzer in his chair?
Yep.
Okay, good. Mrs. Room,
You discuss, for instance, your slate columns when you develop ideas and write them down. Do you submit them to Silda for?
Oh, sure. I mean, I talk to Silda about what I think I'll write about. She reads it before I send it to a very small group of people for comments before I send it into my editor to make sure that I haven't, said something that is just, they go, huh? Where'd that come from? Yeah, so she's the first, line, and then there's a very small group of people who I send things to, and then I send it off.
With her literary sensibility, which is perhaps different from your own formation, what does she bring to your perspective on things?
Silda's always more sensitive to how the public will view issues and the public sensibility and how we communicate. And our typical interchange would be where I'd lay out a line of argument or a case or an issue, and she would say, but the public won't understand what you're doing, and I would say, but we're right. And she would say, but being right doesn't matter. You have to understand how to communicate it more effectively. And she was always much more sensitive to that than I was. There are moments when I thought a couple different thoughts. The caricature of me as being angry was often that. It was often a caricature. Were there times when I was angry? Absolutely. But I would also say that almost always the objects of that anger deserved it. And if I was angry and had some brawls with AIG and the people who are defending AIG and over compensation and over some pollution cases, maybe it was right to be angry. And it wasn't always effective, but it may nonetheless have been right. The slogan in politics, for better or for worse, you come up with a slogan to use in a campaign. And the slogan that we put on posters and some of the ads in '06 was, bring passion back to Albany. And we were very intentionally trying to say, anger sounds negative, but passion for the right cause is good. And the passion was for the right purpose whenever it was there. And I agree with you. It helps get things done. As I've said, you're not going to, for all the talk about change, you don't change the world over tea and crumpets. You change the world when there's a certain intensity that's brought to bear to shake a status quo that is inevitably extremely powerful. And the status quo that was supported and framed by the capital structure on Wall Street was unbelievably powerful. And so if we're going to change that, you'd better be ready to bring some passion to it. And we tried to do that in Albany, and we were right in what we were trying to do. People didn't like the sparks that resulted, but I think in the long run, I hope people keep up that fight.